I was always filled with anxiety and anger. And as soon as I got drunk for the first time, it was just like it didn't matter anymore. Everything just divulged into chaos. I've tried every possible remedy I could think of, and nothing would work. I cannot stand the person I see in the mirror any longer.
God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Excursions with Dillon Pastors. Today, I got David on. You guys are going to love his testimony. We just recorded it, and it's amazing. He's got a powerful testimony. We had a great conversation. Probably one of the best ones. I don't want to say that, but probably one of the best ones I had so far.
Too high of that.
Other than Guy. I might make the other guys jealous. I don't want to do that.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, God bless you, bro.
You too.
It's good to know you. Out. All right, David. So thank you for joining the podcast.
Yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate you, man. It was great to enjoy church with you this morning. I've been really excited about your story, and I think that it's going to be great. So when we were talking, you said that around 24, 25 is, you got arrested or whatever, and you had your first kind of experience with a God moment or whatever around that time. If you can you elaborate more on that? But before that, can you kind of take us into what life was like as a kid and what that was like growing up, and why, so we can kind of understand why you went into the path that you went into and what ultimately led you to Jesus?
Yeah, so I wasn't born with a religious background. My parents weren't godly people, kind of raised maybe in an unhealthy environment. They were both addicts, lots of chaos going around, lots of bouncing around from houses to houses. My mom OD'd and died when I was like 19. Part of that, I started smoking weed and found alcohol probably when I was 11. And in Leavenworth, there was I found, a good group of friends that had similar backgrounds, family backgrounds that I did. And that's all we would do all summer until we dropped out of school. And it was just drinking and stealing weed from our parents, and it was just crazy. And right off the get-go, alcohol was an issue. I got arrested when I was 12 or 13 for stealing cigarettes from convenience stores. A couple of years after that, I would start getting arrested for stealing cars, residential burglary, and that's kind of how my childhood went.
Was your parents abusive or anything, or did you have a good childhood there in that area?
I didn't have any physical abuse. My mom was addicted to heroin and meth. My dad was kind of living on the other side of the mountains, and so it was just me and my brother and my mom. And she just wasn't really
there emotionally.
She wasn't there at all, really. There's a lot of overdoses and stuff like that, and the guy that became our sheriff, Brian Burnett, he was just a beat cop when I was a kid. And, every time I'd have to call 911, he would be the cop that would show up. And I think he kind of took it easy on me when I was a kid, because there's plenty of times he could have arrested me for various things, and he would make sure that someone got me home instead,
Yeah.
And I think I had it pretty easy in that regard. I could have gotten in a lot more trouble, and I should have probably gotten in a lot more trouble.
So what was that first drink like? If you could take us through that, just like what was going through your mind, like, wow, this is everything I needed, or?
Yeah. So I was always filled with anxiety and anger as a kid, probably just never knowing what was going to happen next. What the family situation was going to look like. And as soon as I got drunk for the first time, it was just like it didn't matter anymore.
It's that demon, it grabs a hold of you.
I found the perfect release. Problem with me drinking, I started smoking weed with my dad when I was 11. And that was the same way. It's just like, fifth grade, I was on the honor roll. Fifth grade summer, I started smoking weed with my dad. By the end of the summer, I found alcohol. And then sixth grade, it was like F's. So things went downhill pretty quick. And I got married at a young age. I was 18, 19. I had my first daughter, Ashaya. And I was not ready to be a dad. And that relationship ended fairly quickly. And I became an every other weekend dad. And that every other weekend, I'd always think, I always try to do something fun with them when I did have them, but I would always be drinking,
Right.
And everything just divulged into chaos. Everything revolved around drinking, no matter what the issues were, what was going on. And that's when I got arrested at 22. I got in a fight at a bar, and I got sentenced to DLC work crew. And this guy, Bill Boyle, he was the work crew boss or the corrections officer. And after my sentence was done, I was done with work crew. I ran into him at a business we used to have here called Hastings, which was like a bookstore, CD store. And he was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And, we got to shooting the stuff. And I started going to the bars with him playing pool. He was a very godly guy, He bought me my first Bible. The whole time during DLC work crew, we would talk politics and religion, and I kept that Bible. I still have that Bible today. That's the Bible I use now. And he was my first kind of spiritual teacher.
Right.
I never had that growing up. My parents were not religious whatsoever. And
so that changed your course with finding God and all that.
It kind of got me thinking in a different direction anyway. I wasn't to the point where I thought I needed God yet, though. I didn't find that I needed God until I needed God. Until, I've been to multiple treatment centers. I've been in and out of jail since, I was 12 or 13. And 2019, that's when I really started getting serious about getting sober.
But you had endured mad problems in relationships.
Yeah.
What was a day for you like drinking? Like you wake up in the morning, you go straight to getting a beer. Like what was your day like?
Yeah. So depending on, it was always different, what relationship I was in. There towards the end, I would drink in the morning. I would drink at work. I was in construction. And
even worse.
So it was a little loose. It was easy to hide. Not many people cared if you were drinking or smoking weed. So usually if I was hungover, I would start drinking in the morning. If I wasn't, I would start drinking by lunch. Sometimes, once that alcohol hits my lips, it's go time. I need another one and another one and another one and another one. Sometimes I would have to leave work early, just so I could go to the liquor store and get more booze. And it would go until I passed out or I get arrested for something.
So I got a question. So how Jesus and why Jesus for you?
Oh man. So 2022, I've been to IOP about 3 times in a row, and my wife had left with my kids, and I couldn't get sober. I wanted to be sober now, right? Okay. I was 37, 38, 39. Felt that old. And I could not stay sober for the life of me. I've tried every possible remedy I could think of. I'm doing treatment. I'm trying to do all these things, not hang out with anybody that drinks, and nothing would work. And everything was just looking darker and darker. My family leaves. I'm sitting in this empty house, and I cannot stand the person I see in the mirror any longer. And so at that time, I was having pretty severe withdrawals when I wouldn't drink. And so I went to the hospital and got on detox medication. And January 31st, 2022, I did that. I went and got detox medication, went back home. On the way home, got a fifth of vodka, and I ate 25 Librium and drank that whole fifth of vodka. And the intention was to, not wake up.
Yeah.
And somewhere along that line, my sponsor, the guy that took me through the steps, I drunk dialed him in that stupor that I was in. And he ended up calling the cops. I wanted to tell him where I lived. So the cops weren't sure where to go exactly until they looked me up on file. They knew who my wife was. They called my wife. They found out my address. And we had I don't remember any of this, but I read it in the police report. I had a showdown with the cops. I wasn't going to let them in my house and all this. Somehow they gained access to my house.
Well, how did the showdown go? Do you remember? I want to hear this.
Well, so there was multiple Chelan County Sheriff's officers from the behavioral health division of their facet,
Yeah.
And one cop was trying to plead with me, trying to bring the family side into it, to think of your son, think of your family. And I just kept calling them, nasty names. And I didn't want none of it.
Yeah.
Then another cop would try to play bad cop, and bust out his taser and be like, I will tase you. And I would just say, tase me.
It sounds like using a complete demonic episode, brother. I've been there, though. That's the reason why I say it, because I resonate with you on that.
Yeah.
Because we both know what it's like to be we don't have any control over who we are, what we're doing. It's like something else is controlling us in those moments.
The lights are on somehow, but no one's home. And I don't know who's doing all this talking, but all this nasty stuff is just coming out. And I ended up going to the hospital. And
was it just a regular hospital? Was it a psych ward or something like just a regular hospital?
No, they took me to the ER first.
Oh, okay.
Because I took a toxic overdose of benzos.
Oh yeah. So you was tripping? Was you seeing stuff too? I've done that. I've done the Benadryl too, and I was tripping, dude. I was seeing stuff. I held them under my tongue for 30 minutes.
I don't remember
a whole handful of them.
But all I know is the doctor said, I had a couple hours left.
Oh, wow.
Because it was a toxic overdose of Librium.
Yeah.
And I woke up in Parkside Mental Health Facility on a week and a half hold.
Yeah.
So I was in there with crazy people. I woke up, I thought I was in jail at first, because that's happened many times. You wake up in jail and be like, man, what happened?
I honestly think the crazy hospitals are worse than jail because people just sucker punch people out of nowhere.
Yeah.
When I was in the psych ward, dude, you had to watch your back, dude.
Right.
It ain't nothing like prison, dog, because somebody just might snap out, think you're anything, dude, and just come at you. So it was
jump on you like a spider monkey.
Yeah, dude, in crazy hospitals, I ain't going back to nothing, dog.
That was the first time, I fell to my knees and say, God, I can't do this.
Did you feel like God maybe spoke to you in that moment as well, when that happened?
I think he brought everything around. Everything I've been through in my life, I felt came down to this moment to make me realize, you're trying all these things and nothing's working.
Mm.
And here I am all this time.
Mm. Been there the whole time. I know that feeling, dog. It's like, man, I've been waiting on you.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I've been here.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You think you're searching for God the whole time. Because I don't know about you, for me, in my position, the things I was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was searching for God the whole time. I was always looking for God, but I was looking in the wrong places. God was already there. Had I looked in the correct place, I would have seen God, and I would have bounced out of whatever it is fog I was in, you know? But that's how Satan gets you. Satan knows that you're looking for God. Deep down in your spirit, you're looking for God in any situation that you're in. And the craziest thing is, I always found God in those worst moments. Because that's when he really showed up, you know? Yeah. Because he really showed up. And I think that's where most of my addiction was so long in, because I would get high to experience a God experience versus just getting high, just like, did you get high? You know, I would ask people I was getting high with, I'd be like, do you know why you're shooting up? No, just do it. Like me, I knew why I was doing it. I knew, do you see what I'm saying? Like, and, you know what I mean? But I don't know why. I think like, and I don't want to make this about me. I just want to talk for a second, but I feel like, in my addiction, when people wasn't like paying attention to God or wasn't like seeking for something like that, I feel like they seen that in me. And I feel like that put a drive in a lot of people that I was around, you know? Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, I'm not taking the credit, I'm just saying, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, because a lot of people would be like, why are we getting high? And you're like, you want to be better. And why are we get high? And then you want to talk. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm in it. When you're in the darkness, when you're in it, like, you want something more and better. And that's where the high came in for me. Yeah. I was high off of the fact that I knew I had to get out of this darkness. And I was going to do it. You know what I mean? And I was going to fight every day to get out of it. And that's what I was high off of. Yeah. And that's what kept me in it so long. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when I finally just woke up and realized, like, well, I've already won. I'm not going to win this battle. I even say it in my music, like, I'm fighting a battle I'm not going to win. No. It's already been won by Jesus Christ. I'm sitting here trying to fight it, trying to take the sin of the world. Like, I'm sitting here trying to do what he's doing. He already did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I just always had that. But you know, Jelly Roll has a lyric in one of his songs, you know, it's, I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Yeah. Yeah. And I've spent 30 years right there. You know, one bottom after another. No bottom was strong enough to keep me quit. Even after I tried to kill myself and I first asked God for help. Couldn't even kill yourself. Sucked at that. I did the same thing. I know. I'm like, of course. I can't even die. You got a drunk dial somewhere. You couldn't have just kept it to yourself. Yeah, I couldn't even die right. You know what I mean? Like, that sucked. That sucked when I lived through that. Yeah. You know, that's how I felt. But now doing like you think about all that stuff right now, this moment, me and you meeting up, God has placed that for a reason, you know? And but so you got through all that darkness, right? You're at a place in your life at that time where, you know, you hit that crossroad or whatever and you're on your knees. So what, after that, what started to change? What did you start? You were still obviously, was you still messing around and I did, but your foot was on the other side of the fence at this point. I had like one foot, you know, and, I took control back, you know, I made this, I can do this on my own. I'm going to stay sober. I don't want to, you know, do all these meetings and go to church with these weird church people and all this kind of stuff. So it didn't, I stayed sober for maybe 4 months, I think. And, this whole time, I'm telling my wife, you know, I'm good. You can move back in and, I'll do whatever you want, blah, 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 blah. And, I ended up getting drunk again. While she was living there? And I tried coming back to, the treatment center that I've been going to. And I tried to start another IOP and, my treatment counselor, you know, that night, I'm like, look, I'm drunk right now. He's like, I don't care. Just come to IOP. You know, you got to stay somewhere. You know, I just want to give you somewhere safe to be besides by yourself because I cannot stay sober by myself. Yeah. And I come back to IOP and I get, you know, that first night, there's someone in my IOP that I knew from outside of IOP. And I tried to fight this guy in IOP. I end up leaving. And I'm driving like 120 miles per hour down Highway 97, going back home to Entiat. I go back to the liquor store.
and I'm coming out of the liquor store as a guy is going in that I passed on my way there. And he starts talking a bunch of stuff because I passed him like, a jerk. Yeah, I'm driving like 120 miles per hour on 97. So I go back inside after him. I'm like, we can talk about this outside. And he comes outside and goes straight to his truck. I thought he was going to get a gun. It's a can of bear spray, and he bear sprays me.
Oh, wow.
And that stuff's no joke, Like, I cannot breathe. I cannot see. I get in my car. I'm trying to rub everything off me, but I'm just rubbing everything in my eyes more. And I wreck my car on my way home. So now I have to walk home. And the next morning, I got a call in work. I can't make it to work. And I just sleep the day off. My little brother, he ends up calling me and saying that he's going to get baptized at this place called Redemption Recovery. And he's staying at a place called the Mission House, which is like an Oxford house, but more faith-based. And so I'm like, cool. I'm going to come tonight and see you get baptized. And I go to R&R, Redemption Recovery, and a couple of the guys that are have been in my past IOP classes are there, and my little brother's there. And I just went to go see him get baptized, and sure enough, I get baptized along with all these guys. And as I'm getting dunked under, I'm just praying to God that he would remove this obsession of alcohol from my life, because I've tried every human thing possible to stop drinking and nothing's working. Nothing is going to work. And I've been sober ever since.
That's powerful.
And in that whole time, I've gotten my family back. I can look at myself in the mirror. I don't like, I'm pretty involved in the recovery community. We have these coins to celebrate your achievements of being sober another month or a year, or I can't I can't claim any responsibility for any of the success that I've had. It's all been Christ.
And you believe that?
I believe.
How do you know it?
Because I'm sober.
I love that.
I see it with my wife. I know she is a blessing from God.
That's beautiful, man.
She is stuck by my side every step of the way, even though she shouldn't have. I have a relationship with my oldest daughter when I shouldn't. She should. So there's a father right now. Mm-hmm. He's in this drunken stupor, and he beats on his wife. He's hurts his kids, and he doesn't want to do it. He's like you, right? He's lost like you, and he's watching this right now when you say that. Just fall on your knees and ask God for the help that you need. Ask God to be your personal savior, and pray. Pray all day. I still pray as much as you have to at that point, because when you're in that so far of it that you have to pray every second. I never turned to Christ until I had nowhere else to turn. And the time I did turn to Christ, everything changed. I feel that. It was like that too, because I was into the sage, witchcraft. Yeah. I was doing all of it, right? And the problem with that stuff is that you have to be your own God. Yeah. You have to be the person that does the magic, you have to do all the crystals and stuff. But when it comes down to time when you ain't got none of that stuff and it's just you and God, who you gonna call? Yeah. I mean, because I was in hell. I was in hell for real. Yeah. None of those crystals came to save me. None of that magic I was practicing came to save me. All those demons I was working with turned against me. Yeah. Tried to drag my soul down to hell. And the only person that was left for me to call on was Jesus Christ. Yep. And then when I sit back and think about it, I'm like, wow, because we our whole life is based upon the world. When we're growing up, we don't realize none of this stuff, especially if we grow up in a life where our parents aren't religious and we don't even hear nothing about Jesus Christ, right? We grow up in the world. Yeah. And so our whole life is based on the world. And then when you come to realize Jesus Christ and who he is and all that, it just, everything, like you said, everything just changes. I'm so shocked still that I can't even be shocked. Yeah.
That's how shocked I am. Because I've had those all moments where I got sober, dude, and I was clean for 2 years and everything was great. And I didn't have Jesus Christ at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was happier than it seemed like. I'm not as happy anymore, just to be honest with you. But because when you really find Jesus Christ, you really understand what it really is, what it really means. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of peace. Not as much happiness. I mean, for other people there is. For me, I'm not as happy as what I was in my stupor, right? Like I felt like I had more fun doing that stuff. I have fun today, right? It's just a different kind of fun. It's not the same kind of the fun that was. But I think I just hope that anybody that's watching this and is listening to you and is drunk right now, it's one thing to be drunk and you're okay and you can still like function or whatever. And like, but it's one thing to be drunk and be possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
You know, because of your drinking or whatever, right? Because we're dealing with those underlying issues. But for you, it seems like your story is like, as a kid, you know, your parents weren't really there, you know, so obviously you earned for that. You needed that. But it seemed like for you, your drinking comes from kind of that seeking for something, but as in like, you just wanted to have fun. And then it turned into something that became what led you to Jesus Christ too. You know what I mean? That's what I look like when people like, they judge people, they look at their story, they're like, wow, look at that person. There could be somebody outside smoking crack on the street right now. Somebody will drive by and judge that person smoking crack, but they don't even realize that moment of him smoking crack might be the one thing that leads him to Jesus Christ. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, that's why I don't judge nobody.
I was so judgmental, like homeless people until I was at the mission house with homeless people. And you
realize it.
Fantastic people.
Yeah. I mean, I still joke around. Like I see a homeless, like earlier, right? You seen the guy, we're like, oh, well, I wonder if he's really like getting gas.
Right. Is that sign true?
But he's still getting money. You know what I mean? I'm not judging him or anything, but like, I mean, those are just natural things. I think regardless, like we could sit here and say we don't want to judge and then we'll go drive down the street and we'll think it in our mind.
Oh yeah.
I don't think everybody thinks things in their mind. I think it's just about when you think that thought in your mind, you say, nah, Lord, I don't want to think that stuff. I need to take that out of my head. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with porn, anything. Yeah. Right? Because these are spirits. Like we're filled with the Holy Spirit. So demons can't come into us and take over us at this point unless like you got to literally be so far into the demonic realm that the Holy Spirit's not even grasping you anymore for a demon to actually fully take over you. Right. But the way I see it is like, look at it as like these little thin veils of spirits and they're like leeches. So smoking cigarettes, right? I'll be honest with you, I smoke cigarettes. So that means that there is a spirit that has attached itself to me that holds on to me and sucks part of that life out of me, right? Mm-hmm. And so like we go through our lives and we pick up these certain things and we're not realizing what we're really picking up. We're really picking up spirits and they attach themselves to our souls in certain ways. And the only way to get those gone and off of you is through Jesus Christ. And I've learned that the hard way. That's why I truly believe that and sit here today. If you would have asked me 4 months ago, dude, I would have been like, nah, man, we're our own gods, you know? Yeah. But like, I truly believe that today. And I didn't believe that 5-6 months ago, dude. No. You know, I didn't even know that. I wanted to know what it was. And I went through hell to figure that out, to get that. So I challenge anybody that even watches this, that sees you, right? Go through the fire. You know, if you're halfway through it, hopefully you make it out of it, but don't stop now and turn around because you're already there. You know, now it's time to reach your breaking point and meet Jesus where he's trying to meet you at. You really do have to. Like for me, it was never a rock bottom. That last drunk. Yeah. That was just I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Mm. And I think that's what allowed me to take that step to get baptized. Because usually I'd be like, no, I'm not getting baptized. That's some weird stuff, you know? What? Yeah, it's like that last drunk was different, right? It was the same thing with me. Like my last high was different than what the first, because like the last high, I was experiencing conviction. Yeah. I wasn't experiencing that euphoric, like, all right, I was experiencing hell, you know? And I think like we all progress to that place in our addiction. Eventually it all leads to hell. And luckily people like me and you, we made it there before we died. Yeah. Because if you die in that state, it's not good. Where do you think you're going? Yeah. And I hate to say it, I don't say that to scare people away from God. But if you die in that state, you're going to die and go to hell. Yeah. I was in that state and I could feel my soul starting to leave my body. That's how close I was. And I felt it. Yeah. And it scared the crap out of me because I knew like if I died right now, I'm going to hell, dude. There's no other place for me to go to because I've completely threw God out of my life. The blessed thing that we get here today is that we could be drunk in hell here in this physical life, but we could still experience God in that moment.
Yeah.
Once you die and go to hell, you can't experience God no more.
That's over.
It's gone, you know? So like, that's the beautiful thing. That's what I think is crazy about people is they walk around, they got all this anger, all this hate, like, you know, how we did, right? It's rage of spirits, right? But I don't think they truly realize and see, like, they can still experience it. They can still go home and have their kids, like you, right? You can still go home and experience your kids. You can experience God in that moment. You can experience the love from your wife. But once it's too late, you don't get that back. You know? And that's why I just, when I think about that, it's hard for me to go to the store. It's hard for me to talk to people without telling people that stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's hard because I see that, right? Because I know what the truth is, dude.
Yeah.
So like, and I feel bad for like the dude on TMZ. Like the other day I seen a video where he was like, yeah, Jesus Christ, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I don't need that salvation. And it's like on the side where like you was that, and then now you believe in Jesus Christ, you know exactly what's wrong. And you know, like you feel so bad, you know what I mean? Cause you're like, wow, like that's crazy. Cause he doesn't understand. He doesn't even know what he's picking up and putting down. You know?
Right. That's why
it's crazy how Jewish people don't believe in Jesus Christ. You're Jewish.
Right.
It's Jewish. You know, it's the Gentile thing that they was preaching about today, right? Like we take it more than they take it, than his own people take it.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it where people are like, oh, Jesus isn't the Messiah. And then, but I've also interviewed Muslims. I don't have nothing against these people. I love these people. And they'll say, well, we don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, but we love Jesus. We give Jesus the credit that he deserves.
He's still a prophet in their book.
Yeah, he's still a prophet in their book. Or whatever,
but he's not the savior.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it too, though, like not everybody that is like believes in like Allah. I'm not saying that they're wrong, right? Because I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't want to say they're wrong, but they are wrong in all reality. Let's be real. Like they're wrong. But like, I'm not going to go up to them in their face and say, listen, what you believe in is wrong. Because you know they're not going to take that right? No. It's from a loving standpoint. But what I've learned is that out of all these religions, ain't none of them died and came back to life. The only one that died and came back to life was Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
you look at all these people and they say, oh, well, Jesus wasn't the prophet. Well, your prophets didn't even die. You know what I mean? You're following prophets and you're saying, well, you know what I mean? But I mean, then somebody will say, well, who's to say that even happened? But well, we choose to believe it happened, right? I know it happened because I've experienced Jesus Christ here on earth. I haven't seen him right in front of me, but I experienced his energy. I felt it, you know? I felt him save me from hell. So like, I know that he's real, you know? And if there's any religion that I'm going to choose, it's going to be Christianity because it's the only one that, like I said, you know, it has a person that died and came back to life, you know? And it just seems it makes more sense. You know, I used to be like, man, there's so many contradictions in the Bible, but now I don't see that, you know? I don't see contradictions in the Bible like I did before.
Yeah.
I always used to be like, oh, well, there's slavery in there. And they put that in there to control the slaves. And
those
I realized,
those people are so fake.
Yeah. I realized they put that in there because Jesus is saying to the slaves or whatever, right? God's saying to the slaves, obey no matter what.
Yeah.
I got a reward for you. You know what I mean? So like, but I used to think, oh, well, the people put that in there to get the black people to bow down to their slave owners. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, you could think of that. But when you really look at why God did what he did with his word, you start to kind of understand those things, you know?
I used to love watching Christopher Hitchens videos. He was a big atheist and became real popular in the 90s. And I used to watch his debates with other religious people. And I would try to take his talking points because I'm not intelligent enough to come up with my own to go argue with Christian people why God and Jesus was false and not real.
Using his teachings.
using Christopher Hitchens' philosophy, you know. And I would never think of today that I am where I am because of Christ. Or I never, like 2 years ago, I would never thought I would be at a Bible study every Saturday, you know, AA meeting every Friday, go to church every Sunday. You know, I try to help other people in recovery community go through the steps, you know, almost all the steps in, you know, AA, NA are about God.
You know what's interesting, man? I was just thinking about this. Is before you had a lot of problems in your marriage and in your family, right? Now, before that, when you looked at your wife, did you not see her as a blessing then? But now, like you look at her, you see that. So what do you think? Like, what is different? Was it like Jesus pulled off a blind off your eyes and was like, this is the blessing I gave you, but before it was like something you would sabatage.
Yeah.
What do you think? Did you think it was just like we spoke about, like those demons that was in you at that time?
That, and she was always an obstacle trying to work against me doing what I wanted to do, which was get drunk. She didn't want to get. I'm not a nice drunk. So there's no wife out there, that would want to be around a husband that's a mean drunk, you know. And I'd done horrible things under the influence of alcohol. Tried to burn my life down, other people's lives down.
It's a beautiful testimony. I mean, it just, for you to be sitting here talking about it, there's obviously a change. Somebody can't watch this. They have to know who you were in the past. So people that know you will watch this and know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I'm glad I've never met that version of you. I like the version of you that I have met. I think you're a great dude, man.
Thank you.
Really. I really love your testimony and story. Is there anything else you would like to add? Or I know I talk some, but you don't mind, do you?
I missed a lot, I don't like my whole drunk-a-log is full of, stupid stuff and arrests and.
But we want to glorify Jesus.
Yeah. It's not really important.
I wanted you to just kind of give that, but right now, like, what does your day look like with Jesus and versus? I
wake up first and foremost praying to God and asking Him, turning my will over to the care of God.
I need to start doing that more. If
I don't do that, I tend to, I drive dump trucks all day, and all these people that cut me off all day, I might start yelling at them more and pulling on my horn. I might go home in a bad mood,
Yeah.
But when I wake up and all throughout the day, I have an intimate personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and I talk to Him all day long.
That's awesome.
That seems like it should be weird.
Yeah.
Me 2 years ago, I'd be like, you're a weirdo now.
You are a weirdo. I'm a weirdo too. We're all weirdos. Yeah. Like I would go times, dude, talking to myself, and like now I don't care. I'll talk to myself sitting at the stoplight. People be looking at me.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily. I'm talking to God, right? It's like conversations with God, and I think everybody does that. Everybody does it. Mm-hmm. It's just everybody is silent with it. Everybody's like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But like I think it's important to. It is weird, but it's important to have those conversations.
Yeah,
it shows that you have a connection with something other than just a human being.
Yeah,
you have a connection with something that's in the air. You know what I mean? Like, it shows, and also shows your confidence in it. Yeah. You could sit anywhere in public or something and just be like, and you know what I mean? Like just pray or whatever. And you don't care what other people think about you. It takes a kind of insanity to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it takes a kind of insanity to sit up in front of a bunch of people that might not be putting their hands up worshiping and you do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, there's always that self-conscious there about everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I think it just depends on the vibe if I put my hands up or not.
Yeah.
I love our church, dude. Like the worship, like this morning, like when everybody's, it's a scene, dude.
Oh man, so everyone was so loud today too.
Yeah, it gets so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I really cherish the moments when I get to take photos of them.
Yeah.
And they're like in their moment with God. And then I get to look back at the photo and I'm like, man, these guys are like lost in Jesus right now. Like, I wish I could get so lost. But like I'm on my different journey with Jesus.
Yeah.
This is why I'm doing this podcast, because I'm learning. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from everybody.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're all learning. And then I post it and everybody that wants to learn, we all learn together.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just here trying to understand why Jesus, who and when, all that, you know what I mean? Because I have my own reasons of why Jesus, but I want to know other people's reasons of why they chose Jesus.
I know he completely,
and it all lines up.
He completely removed the obsession of alcohol from me. I have today, what I'm focused on is just becoming a decent person, and trying to show my family, especially my sons, because they see me as a nasty, angry, mean drunk that used to talk down to their mom and, just a piece of junk. And I don't want my boys to grow up like that and treat women like that,
and that's what it is too, is that you're the guy that they're going to lead into, because I dealt with that with my father a little bit, and so, but I see it in you, dude. You're a good dude. You're a good man. You've changed, and I'm really grateful that you have, dude. And I think that your family is very lucky to have you, because now not only have you just been a guy that's been a piece of shit, you've been a piece of shit, and now you're a good guy.
Right.
And you know what it's like to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So your family can resonate with you on a level. When your son grows up and he starts to fall into something, he'll be able to resonate with you on a level that most people can't, right? You can resonate with people when you go out and, like, you know what I'm saying? You have a story to tell. And
I like trying to help other pieces of shit.
Yeah, right. You know? Yeah.
And let them know you're really not a piece of shit.
Yeah, you're okay. You know, it's only, I used to know this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but every time he get drunk, he'd always be like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He'd always be like, well, I'm a drunk piece of shit. He'd always be yelling and shit. And then what I realized is too, when we say these things to ourselves, we're talking to God. Because God resides within us. The Holy Spirit resides within us. So every time you wake up every day and you're like, I'm a piece of shit, or I'm this, you always talk negative to yourself. You're talking negative to God. You're telling God that he's a piece of shit. You're telling the Holy Spirit that he's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it. So I started to understand it when I would just be sitting in the car and say some negative shit. I'm like, wait a minute. No. We're going to not do that. We're going to switch it up.
That self-pity training.
You got to train your own brain, dude, because most of us are going, that's why we get so caught up in that darkness, because we're just so programmed in it.
Yeah.
There's no conviction there left, because we already ate that all out the window. All right, so that's going to conclude this episode. I'm sorry for the quick cutoff, but yeah, it's just how it ended. God bless y'all, though, and I hope y'all are ready to see more of my episodes that are coming out. I don't know exactly how I'm going to drop them, but I'm going to drop them at a recent rate, you know. But yeah, I hope that any of the videos that I post on here that reaches you guys and meets you guys wherever you're at. And God bless everybody. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.